and welcome to the EZNZ podcast. As you can see, we've got a special guest here. So this is Carlin from
Hello.
HP. It's a tradition that we've stolen from Australia when we've got a new person on. Tell us a fun fact about yourself, my friend.
Fun fact about
Always
myself.
like the hardest
Besides,
question, right?
you've got like
Yeah,
the strongest hair in New Zealand.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know about
How
that.
much product do you have in there? Just
Not much at all.
noticed
It's really soft.
Oh.
It kind of just sits there after years of practice.
Years of practice.
No, a fun
Nice.
fact about myself. I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan.
oh,
Okay.
See, we share that. You got me into
I
Kendrick
did,
Lamar
didn't I?
when
Yep. Yep.
I used to work with Carlin, and we used to travel to Whangarei and listen to all sorts
Dim
of jams.
beats? Are you guys like
Yeah.
just low-key rappers? Like you
Yeah,
could bust
very
out
low-key.
a
Well,
Kendrick?
I sort of get all of my co-workers onto Kendrick as well.
Yeah, did you go see him?
Alex,
He was-
if you're watching, you'll know that I have subjected you to every single album of his discography.
Everybody needs
But no,
that good
I
friend.
did go to the concert. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Very
can.
cool.
So
Excellent.
Another fun fact is Carlin sings, so Hannah and Carlin can do duets. Maybe if
classic.
we're lucky, we'll get one later. If
It's
you
never
don't,
gonna happen.
mention it in the comments and we'll find out.
Thanks.
No
mate.
worries.
That's,
Thanks for that, Felicia.
that's
No problem.
really helpful. So as we mentioned, Carlin works for HP. The reason he's actually here is not for a duet and not so we can harass him, but he's here to tell us about an awesome Omen device.
I thought it was just so we
I
could
am.
look pretty, bring our rating.
Yeah,
up
we've
the
got to get
podcast.
the viewership up.
No, that's right. I do have a really cool product to talk to you guys about, and that is the new Omen 15.
Can you hold that?
Yeah,
give her a spin.
So obviously
I-
this is the back here, but what's really cool is the front of the device. The reason why I love this so much as a gaming device and why it stands out is, first of all, how good does it look, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm still not quite accustomed to seeing such thin bezels on a gaming
Yes.
laptop.
I-
We're used
Yeah.
to them being bulky and ugly and all those things, but this
Yeah.
looks beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I really want to talk about with this device is, I guess, maybe our perception of gaming laptops and how now in 2018 that should be a little bit different, right?
Absolutely.
Like, gaming laptops have always been designed to be as powerful or as close to as powerful as you can get to a desktop device. So we've often seen that come at this kind of stack level, right?
Yeah.
So they've been big, they've been bulky, the heating hasn't been the optimal experience. So how
Yeah.
does this new Omen differ?
Yeah. So you're totally spot on. Gaming laptops specifically have
Yeah.
gone on a very long journey when it comes to cooling.
And a delightful journey.
Yeah, it's always been a balance of finding something that looks pretty good while still being able to actually cool enough
Yeah.
to play more than 10 minutes a game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, no, with this one, it's the smallest Omen notebook that we've ever made, or at least that I'm aware of.
Really?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it actually has the biggest fans in it as
Wow.
well. So we've found a really good balance between the two. It's also the first time that we can fit 1070 graphics cards in a 15-inch notebook.
Whoa!
Wow.
So you were saying,
Yeah.
it's always about trying to get
Whoa.
them as powerful as possible.
Yeah.
It's definitely, taken that next
Yeah,
step
I'm
up.
amazed. Can you just close it and like show it?
Okay.
Like that blows my mind, Carlin. Do you know how they've gone about doing the cooling? So you said it's like
Yeah. So I'm glad you asked.
Oh.
In terms of cooling, we've actually got these two massive fans on either side.
Yeah.
One's essentially dedicated for your CPU and one for your GPU. But
Awesome.
There's a few additional little changes made to it. One example is we've actually got fluid dynamic bearings in here, which means, because I'm sure there are plenty of people that have
Yeah.
no idea what that
I don't know what that means, but it sounds real fancy.
sounds-
So please tell us more.
So essentially all it's really doing is reducing the friction on the fan so they can cool more efficiently, but more importantly, they're not as loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are much quieter when it comes to, full performance games.
Yeah.
Cool.
And on top of that, they actually have a 3-phase motor as well, which once again comes down to being more efficient and quieter as well. Think of the 3-phase motor like gears in your car or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm going to talk over you, but
Yeah,
I'm just
do it
looking
for
at
a
it as well.
change. It's the other way around this
Oh my
time.
gosh. When I first picked it up, the screen bezel, I was like, Carlin, is that a 14-inch Omen?
Yeah.
And he was like,
thought
no,
the
it's
same
actually
thing.
15.
Yeah.
But I actually love the port design.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shut that
Yeah.
out because you've got all your functional ports on the side,
Which are?
USB. We've got a USB. We've got headphone jacks on the side for a mic and a headphone.
That's right, yeah.
Are these Thunderbolt? They look like they.
Yeah, so with that one, you've got a USB-C port on the back of it. Thunderbolt 3 is optional, so if you want to save on cost a little bit, you can go for standard USB-C.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, no, the port layout on this is a complete redesign from the previous version, and it's mainly just around how gamers are going to intend to use it. So with a notebook, often you'll have a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, your headset, all sorts of kit plugged into it. And traditionally, if you've got everything coming out the sides, it becomes quite a mess. Particularly when you have your mouse on the side, because that's obviously a must for gamers.
The most important.
So it's just a lot more out of the way.
Yeah.
It's likely that these, while they are obviously portable, are going to sit on your desk all the time. So you can have your cables tucked away nicely.
So perfect for, and they're, I just love how, like, people don't like it when all the ports are on the back, right? Like, they don't like that. So I love how you've got the, like, docking style, the functional, like, desk style ports on the back, and
then your
the functional ones on the side. That's awesome. I think that's such a nice little touch there.
I think it's easily the best designed gaming notebook at the moment. Really
it's really nice. I want to go back to the cooling. I know that I just keep bringing us back there, but can you hold it up like that?
Yeah, so
like that.
on here,
See, when you turned it around the first time, looking at that, to me that looks very much like the old school like cooling pads that you bought.
Right, same concept, right?
And because like that's kind of like really where I'm coming from, is that like I started selling beautiful devices like the Surface family and all of our OEM partners 5 years ago. So like that was how we were working in that kind of time frame, right? And like I remember people coming in and being like, that's great and all, but I put it on my lap and it burned a hole in my pants. And you know, that literally looks to me just like the design of one of those cooling pads. So instead of having a device that's like this thick and a cooling pad that's like that thick as well, it's all in one. And like I love what you're saying about the ports, man, and having the practicality at the side, you know, plug your mouse in there you go, and then setting up nicely. It makes a huge difference having something this size instead of like taking a desktop to your mate's place. While you still can, not the ideal.
I know it's all raised cooling as well, so like it's not just lying flat. Just so you guys, it might be a bit hard to see, but it does raise it up for the air to get in there.
Yeah, so that is a really good point. These, I guess, big vents here are specifically the intakes, so air comes in through there, gets sucked in, and of course needs to be raised off of the surface it's sitting on. And then of course you've got your two big exhausts on the back, and it sort of has like almost like a race car motif to it. You know, you look at it,
the Lamborghini style.
It screams
here we
speed and performance, right? Like totally. Yeah. In fact, you've even got that carbon fiber aesthetic on it as well, which totally
that we all love
with
with
Omen look and feel.
That's awesome. And I know there's something on Omen laptops. I know you're probably getting for it, but we're just hammering you with questions now because we're excited.
I love it.
But I love the hatch. Can you talk about the hatch for accessing stuff? One of my favorite features about these. It's so good.
Yeah, so once again, going back to, I guess, you know, things like, you know, the cooling and all that stuff, I mentioned that these are designed with how gamers are going to be using them, right? So on the bottom of the notebook, we have a removable panel which allows for easy upgrading of your RAM and your storage, which you can all do yourself. It will not void your warranty in any way either.
I know that's something
that's the
very
important,
cool about.
It's a big plus. Yeah, definitely. And on top of that, one thing in terms of a lot of the models that are specifically coming to New Zealand, a lot of those models, the RAM configurations in them only actually take up one RAM slot. So being able to easily chuck in an additional 16 gigs, you can go up to 32 gigs in this without having to take anything out, any of that at all. So
that's so good. That's so good. Damn, man, that's just nice. I'm just thinking possibilities, and you obviously do not need it now. But does that USB-C port on the back mean it can go into an accelerator as well? So
if you get one of the Thunderbolt 3 configurations, then yes, definitely.
Wow.
With the fact that you've got a 1070 in this, there's not really a need for it.
Unless you're crazy.
Yeah, unless
I know there's a lot of crazy gamers out there.
And to be fair, you could totally chuck in like a 1080 or even like a Titan X if you wanted to. it would be replacing the current graphics
Yeah.
card on it, so it wouldn't stack. But there are still a few
Yeah.
benefits to it. Yeah.
That's awesome. What games have you played on? What are your go-to?
What
Well,
have we started
my
with?
go-to on any platform, to be honest, is Overwatch.
Yeah.
But yeah, on top of that, I think I've played a little bit of Fortnite on here, just because
It's 2018
it's what
and
everyone's
that's what the
playing right
people
now,
want.
and I got a lot of friends playing it. But yeah, definitely Overwatch is my go-to on it, and it's great being able to crank the settings right up to epic.
Yeah.
We're still getting
So
150 frames per second. So
That's crazy. That's actually
insane.
very
And,
crazy.
like, I know I've said it already, but going from like our perception and even my perception, like, can be a little ignorant towards like the higher spec things, because like I just like a device that works, right? I like something that's portable like this, that's something that's just going to work as I want it to work.
Yeah.
So we've covered so much ground in such a short amount of time, right? And I think that's why we're here, that's why we're doing this podcast, is because we want to cover all of those little things that make the biggest difference. So Carlin, before we started, you mentioned that you want this device as
I
your
do.
personal device,
I
and
do.
not for gaming.
No, so I mean, definitely, if I do end up buying one soon, I will use it for gaming.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I really want to be able to use it for video editing and music production as well.
Awesome.
And particularly,
Because he's a singer. He's
well,
famous.
we'll get back to that. But no, so
Avoid, always avoid. Just smile and move on, Carlin.
smile and wave. Yeah, so being able to just use this as a multifunctional device for
Yeah.
all sorts of things, right? And
Yeah.
it's got 2 hard drives in it as well, so I can store all
Yeah.
of my video assets on the
Wow.
hard drive while
Yeah.
still taking advantage of the speed of the SSD,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Ah.
But yeah, I'm just excited to be able to
There's-
plug all my USB-C devices into it and have my
Yeah.
synthesizer and controller
Yeah.
and everything.
I still have 1 or 2 more questions for you, because I know we've totally derailed your pitch. Just been like, this is awesome. Tell us about it.
No, I love it. That's
But-
the way we do these things. Right?
That's the way we do.
I know the keyboard on these is a boss.
Yes.
Can you you'll explain it so much better than me.
Keyboard connoisseur Fletch.
Tell me.
Like, we've all noticed
Yeah.
now that he brings it up as often as he can.
So, with this keyboard...
I'll be your model. I'll
thank you,
block-
Fletcher. So, with this keyboard, first of all, if we take it back a couple of steps, you'll notice, once again, those narrow bezels on the screen. And so this being a very compact notebook, doesn't come at any compromises, which is a big deal. You'll notice, while it is an insanely small gaming device comparatively, the keyboard is still a full-size keyboard. So
Yeah.
you've still got your number pad on the side there. The only thing that's been changed from last year is the arrow keys recessed in just a little bit, which, if you're a gamer, you'll know that doesn't affect anything. But on top of all of that, you've now got 4-zone RGB lighting for it as well. So particularly the WASD keys get highlighted a lot more prominently. And on top of that, you can just take advantage of those different zones for particularly like MOBA gaming, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just to, for your hotkeys, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope you guys can see that in the camera. If not, we'll throw in some photos
Yeah.
because we're definitely gonna chuck this over on
Yeah.
our Expert Zone NZ Instagram page as well, because like it's a beautiful device, and on top of everything we've talked about in terms of its power and performance, it looks good, and that's one of the most important things. And we all know I'm not much of a gamer, but just looking at that keyboard, it's really satisfying.
Absolutely. Like, I know, this keyboard is awesome. I love how you were talking about how the WASD keys are even more highlighted, because they've always had the white, well, in the last generation they had the white boxes around.
Yeah,
which is
they
cool.
were still highlighted
But
to some extent.
taking it to the next level. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's some sort of cool software you have on this which helps beast it up as well.
Mate, that is a great
Yeah.
segue. So that was
Fletch.
that was the next thing that I wanted to talk about. So
It's
actually,
almost like you worked for HP.
so since we're here, I
Yeah.
might as well open it up while I talk about it. And that is the Omen Command Center.
Okay.
There it is there. So, the Omen Command Center, when you open it up, first thing you'll notice is that it is the all-in-one hub for, well, first of all, everything Omen, but it will also monitor your system performance. So you can see what your CPU temperature, your GPU temperature,
That's great.
all of that is how much they're being optimized. On top of, you've even got your like network bandwidth upstream and download speed and upload speed.
Woohoo.
And so that's the first feature of it. Second feature is lighting customization. So that is where you'll customize the keyboard, but also any other Omen accessories you have. So
That is
we've
awesome.
got new keyboards, mice, even headsets coming into stores within the next few weeks, hopefully.
Yeah.
And
Woohoo, New Zealand.
those will all be customized once again within that lighting tab. You've got a network booster, so you can actually prioritize applications on your internet network, so that if you're playing a game, for example, set that to high priority. You're not going to have your web browser or whatever stealing all that bandwidth.
Absolutely, because there's also built into Windows 10 as well a game mode. Which will so this is awesome. It customizes it, but combined with game mode with that network feature.
Lot of features
my
together.
lord, I'm getting sweaty over here.
And then Focus Assist as well, that automatically turns on so you don't get those notifications.
On the mini-map.
Not a gamer trying to add things to the conversation. But there's so much working here. I'm so excited, guys.
I actually do kind of want one of these.
The more you look at it, are you just justifying it in your mind?
Please.
Come on, Steph. It's all up to you. No, so I'm glad you mentioned game mode specifically, because the final newest feature for the Omen Command Center is something called Omen Game Stream.
Yeah.
What this feature actually does is it turns your Omen notebook or your Omen tower into its own remote dedicated gaming server.
Oof.
So you can now play games using the power of one of your Omen towers, on a much lower end, cheaper, underpowered, whatever you want to call it, laptop, which would usually not be able to play games
that's
at all.
awesome.
Or with ultra low latency, high frame rate, high resolution.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
The delay, if you're playing it on your own network, is 7 milliseconds.
That's crazy.
So, I mean...
Can you say that again, Carlin, just to confirm that I heard you correctly?
7 milliseconds.
Wow, that's insane.
So that's actually the fastest out of any other brand that's making this technology.
That's awesome.
And that'll
That's
be
really cool.
particularly handy when you tie it into game mode with stuff like, Xbox Play Anywhere, all of those kind of things. Not only can you now play Xbox games across your Windows 10 device and your Xbox, you can now also play them on your really basic little laptop,
That's really
which you wouldn't be
cool.
able to play games on before.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Obviously, that's really similar to the streaming feature in Xbox. But the reason
next level almost.
Next level, right? And the reason that there is things like Xbox Play Anywhere and stuff is because so many PC gamers also have a console as well. So having that power from not only your console but from a PC device as well is epic.
That's awesome.
That is super cool. How exciting!
And it's cool how they all tie in with each other.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And the word ecosystem upsets me because I don't like that idea of being tied down to something, right? So I think that it's not an ecosystem, it's such an open platform, right? And being able to go between your devices and play on what you want to play on, how you want to play it. I think that is super awesome.
Yeah, so true.
Damn, I will I mean, by the time you guys listen to this, they'll already be there, but we'll get some sick close-ups of this so you can see a lot of these features and details as well. But my God, Carlin, is there anything else? Am I done drooling?
Okay, let me have a little look at it. I guess other key features with this one, we've covered off all of the main gaming stuff, but then of course on top of that, there's a lot of features which are a lot more harmonious across the rest of the HP range. So, for example, this is a fast charging device.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
We love the fast charge.
We love fast charge, right? So, this one is fast charging. Obviously, it is a gaming notebook, so battery life on gaming notebooks are about 5 minutes, but obviously the battery's still running.
Which is why fast charge is so important.
Exactly. No, so it does charge really fast. I mean, if you're gaming on something like this and using full power, you're not going to get the full 10 hours or whatever if you were just browsing the web. But still definitely beneficial if once again you're using it for other things like Photoshop, video editing, all that kind of stuff. And then I guess some of the other things in terms of, once again across the HP range, the speakers are tuned by Bang & Olufsen. So
there's a fantastic story behind this, isn't there?
Yeah, well actually,
so
if any of you listening have not heard this story before, in terms of Bang & Olufsen as a brand, they're a brand out of Denmark. They make your very high-end, high-fidelity audio equipment. In fact, for reference, I think
they're in some of the big car brands, right? Well, top-end cars.
You'll find them in BMW and Aston Martin in particular. Aston Martin is a big one for them. But even their home theatre systems will set you back a minimum of $100,000. So they're high-end stuff we're insanely lucky to have in our notebooks. But in terms of, I guess, how they work as a company, they've actually got this one guy called the Chief Tonmeister at Bang & Olufsen.
Put it down into Tonmeister.
My accent's terrible, and so his job is to literally sit there in front of every prototype device which is getting Bang & Olufsen speakers and fine-tunes them until they are perfect. So, for example, some of our products we might have to send back 4 or 5 times back to the Tonmeister before he is 100% happy with them and gives them his insignia of approval, and we can put
insignia of approval. I like that. And I think that's once again like why we like doing podcasts like this so much is because I didn't know that. Like that's a new story to me, so that's really cool. And like, how many of you guys knew that? Like, that is something that is so specific and so much care and precision has gone into the detail of this device.
Definitely.
And that's what I love so much about technology, right? And that gets me genuinely excited to my core. Like, it's really annoying, like when you're purchasing something and there's one little thing that you'd like to be better. You know, like we can all be a little bit fussy sometimes. But we've covered so much, as I've already said, like we've covered so much, and this seems to be ticking all of the boxes, right? Like performance, tick, cooling, tick, sound, tick, design, tick, like it's killing it. It is killing it.
Absolutely.
What else, Carlin? You're looking at me like, but wait, I've still got more.
Yep, so I guess I'll share one final feature with you guys in terms of this notebook. And that is the fact that this is available in a full HD 144Hz panel. So for gamers, beautifully smooth images.
Is that the only one of the only gaming laptops with 144Hz screen?
So it's definitely a newer thing in terms of notebooks. It is actually also available in a 4K 60Hz version. So you can take your pick. Do you want high frame rate or high resolution? Potentially, if you were using it more for Photoshop, you might want to go for the 4K panel. It's got an insane color accuracy, but of course, gaming, generally for gamers, the number one thing is how smooth your picture is. I mentioned before I was playing Overwatch on about 150 frames, so having that 144Hz panel is 100% taken advantage of. So but there's those two different options available. In fact, you've even got a full HD 60Hz option for the lower end options if you don't want to fork out the money that you do for a 144Hz panel. But the big thing is there's freedom of choice, right?
Absolutely. I honestly will probably jam on this after, but thank you for coming on, for one thing.
My pleasure.
And
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to having you back. I'm looking forward to...
I'd love to be back again.
We've talked a little bit about modern PCs of lately, so it'll be awesome to get you back on to showcase some of your cool modern mainstream PCs.
We've got some really cool stuff coming out soon as well.
I'm looking forward to I walked into a store and I was just drooling over some of them, so we'll make sure we get you back on for that.
And it's crazy, right? Like when you don't go into a store for even like 2 months. Like it's been too long, like since I've been out and about, like actually like on a retail sales floor. And every time I go in, like I'm a very tactile person, so I'm that creep who'll like walk down and be like, oh, and I'll touch it, and I'll like, you know, move the screen up and down and all of those kinds of experiences. So there is some amazing stuff like this Omen, but much more from HP. So we'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
To talk
Yeah,
about
well,
it.
I would love to be back. So
Yeah, if any
let
of
me
you
know when the
guys
next one is.
have anything specific that you'd like to know about, any other devices, any features from HP, leave it in the comments below, and we'll hit up Carlin again to answer your questions. It's always such a delight having special guests on our podcast.
Yeah,
like, as fun as it is, that I just realised that might have just been a direct insult to you, Fletcher. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
sorry.
I'm used to being the forgotten child.
Mate,
No.
mate, come on.
I did have to clean a drill patch off the floor though.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that was
what
awesome.
an impressive device in such a small form factor.
Oh, I just couldn't believe that it was a 15 when it came out. It just looked like a 14.
Yeah.
I love how the screen hovered a little bit. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting more hands on with it and testing it out. And you know, as you saw from some of those delightful pan shots, just how beautiful and luxurious this device is. And I know that I've mentioned it multiple times now, but just changing that perception from what a gaming laptop is, right? Like it's so much more than that in terms of its design and its form factor, its powerhouse performance, and the fact that it's so much slimmer than it has been in the past, I think is really amazing. And it's a very cool device. As Carlin said, you know, he wants to use it for video editing and music editing and all of those kind of really heavy duty things, right? Instead of having to have a dedicated desktop. We're all people who travel a lot for our jobs, so having something that he could take on the road with him, that I'm so glad you pointed out how great the ports at the back were. Really,
so much thought went into those. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
and that's what we love talking about, right? As we've said, just all of those tiny little things that make your device experience go from here to here.
Yeah.
And things that you don't necessarily either notice or store in stores. Sorry, you can't see it online. So we just really want to highlight all of those delightful features for you guys.
Absolutely. So I guess it's not till another week, Hannah.
Not till another week, but if there's anything else you guys want to know about, any questions to make Carlin return, please do leave it in the comments below. We've had a wonderful time as always, and we'll see you guys next week.